Here we go. Good morning. This is the regular meeting of the Board of Election Commissioners for the City of Chicago, January 12th of 2024, commencing at 10:03 a.m. at the offices of the Chicago Board of Elections, 69 West Washington Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60602, and we're in the 8th floor conference room. My name is June Brown, and for this particular meeting, I will be chairing for consistency and fluidity, but we also have our chair joining us remotely, Maricel Hernandez. Can we hear?
I'm here, present.
Thank you. And also Commissioner William Cressy.
Also present.
All right. And we have consideration of the agenda. Are there any changes that we need to consider?
No, Madam Chair, thank you.
All right. And moving forward, are there minutes? I don't have minutes.
There are no minutes to be presented at this meeting.
Thank you. Then we will move forward to the Executive Director's report.
Morning, Madam Chair, Commissioner Brown, and Commissioner Cressy. On Wednesday, I presented testimony to the Illinois House Election and Ethics Committee for a hearing on voter access and vote by mail. We were invited to be a part of this panel by Chair Maurice West, and we were pleased to share the success we have seen with the growth of our vote by mail program, particularly within the permanent roster. Many present were interested and impressed to hear that vote by mail now makes up 25% of all voters turnout in Chicago, as well as our new online application for a permanent roster. We also continue having discussions with the Illinois Secretary of State and bill sponsor ahead of proposed legislation this session in Springfield to expand automatic voter registration. We have invited our language access partners to the table, and we are pleased to see all involved are working towards the best possible version of this legislation. Yesterday, along with General Counsel Adam Lasker and pre-election voting manager Clint Hurd, we finalized voting dates with the CCDOC at the jail. The first weekend of voting will be Saturday, March 3rd and Sunday, March 4th. And the final weekend will be Saturday, March 9th and Sunday, March 10th. Just to make everyone aware, the board will be closed this Monday, January the 15th, for the Martin Luther King Day. Our office will reopen for regular hours on Tuesday, January 16th. So ends my report.
All right. Any questions? Madam Chair, any questions?
Just one question.
Okay.
The hearing of the state legislature that you attended, was that here in Chicago?
No, it was in Champaign County.
Very good. Thank you.
I have no questions.
All right, thank you. Then we'll move forward to the Assistant Executive Director's report. Mrs. Farah?
Good morning. Thank you, Commissioner Brown, Commissioner Cressy, and thank you, Madam Chair, for joining us. The vote by mail total applications as of this morning is 125,347. The nursing home packages are being picked up over a 3-day period, which are January 17th, 18th, and 19th. There is now a total of 4,139 active election judges, and 427 of that number are high school students. There are also 675 pending applications that staff will assign after the committee person's deadline, which is next Friday, January 19th. The election coordinators approved applications as 1,019. The monthly staff meetings will now be held bi-weekly until the end of March of 2024. The warehouse has unboxed and checked 1,400 new e-poll book cases and is unpacking shipments of new equipment, which include iPads, stylus, card encoders, and printers. The staff is also assembling new e-poll book charging carts. And so that ends my report.
Questions?
No.
All right, then we'll move to our Public Information Report, Director's Report.
Commissioners,
Good morning.
relatively brief report on my end, just a few website updates. We're continuing to incorporate suggested feedback and changes. We did have some additional clarifications and improvements to our vote-by-mail applications, especially around our accessible ballots. We will be continuing our mass email to all Chicago voters, letting them know about their vote-by-mail options through this weekend. We also have some additional pages and tools that will appear before the March 19th primary, including an address-only voter information lookup tool, a provisional ballot lookup tool, and as soon as we have our sample ballots and accessibility tiers, once the survey is done, that will be up on the website with our precinct polling place information in our voter lookup tool. Our community services team has been pretty busy. Yesterday they held 2 outreach events, one at the Chinatown Library and one at the Copernicus Center. Both of them focused on bilingual judge recruitment. WBZ has been shadowing some of these events. They're working on a larger story about election judge recruitment, about the challenges and successes that election authorities face, and we're proud to show off our events that are specific to the Chinese-speaking community and Polish-speaking community yesterday, and there'll be more events in the future. We'll be working with WBZ to attend. Another outreach event at Harold Washington College is scheduled for January 23rd, and that's focused on recruiting college students. That ends my report.
I was happy to hear what you're saying, because I've gotten just a few people who've been having difficulties with the new website, finding their registration and things like that. It's good to know that it's not a done deal. We're updating it, we're changing it, we're making the fixes. So I appreciate that, and I will send along any of these difficulties that are reported to me.
We appreciate it, Commissioner. It's very much a work in progress. This is our new website, but it's our base level. Ultimately, we hope to have interactive maps with voter turnout and a lot more tools moving forward. At this point, we're getting feedback as it's coming in, and improved our voter lookup tool. So we removed suffix as a necessary, street suffix as a necessary input. Now recognizes 9-digit zip codes. So we think that it's a bit smoother experience for people for our voter lookup tool at this point.
Right. I think, when you consider we have, 1.5 million registered voters, thereabouts?
1.7 almost now.
1.7, yeah. This is a big undertaking, so there will be a few glitches along the way, but it's good to see that we are, as you say, it's a work in progress, and we're going to keep working at it until we get it right.
Thankfully, we have many voters that are giving us that feedback in real time, so we have no shortage of calls and emails pointing us to improvements.
Okay, well, be nice to the voters.
We sure are.
You always are. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? I have a quick question. When you said Harold Washington College recruiting as to for election judges or for voting?
Both. So voter registration events voter registration is always a part of outreach events, but this one will be specifically reaching out to college students that are there and getting people signed up for the March and November elections as an election judge.
Thank you. All right.
Madam Chair,
Anything from you, Madam Chair?
No, I'm fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Old business. Anything we need to talk about on the infrastructure? Mr. Howard? Proposals?
No.
All right. Any legislation?
They will be going back into session next week, but no report for today.
New business. We have some presentations as to new contracts that are coming. And Mr. Lasker?
Thank you, Commissioner Brown. As we have discussed in the past, the IRS is implementing upon us some new guidelines for payroll and tax withholdings from poll workers. So in order to comply with those requirements, the city, we are going to have to be collecting and reporting that information to the city, which then in turn processes our payroll. And so we have to have a system that's compatible with the cities. The city uses ADP, and so our staff members have reached out to ADP and obtained a contract for the services for this 2024 tax year. So that's what we're requesting approval of today.
Any questions regarding?
As a CPA, no, I have no questions. We have to go ahead with that.
All right. right, is there a motion to approve a contract with ADP for payroll services for poll workers in relation to the 2024 tax year with the cost of $295,386?
So moved by Commissioner Cressy.
Second by Commissioner Hernandez.
All right, thank you. And call for the vote.
Commissioner Cressy votes aye.
Commissioner Hernandez votes aye.
It's been moved and approved, voted on by both commissioners with the majority, and the motion passes. All right, the next motion, the next approval is,
I can handle this one, too.
all right, Mr.
Commissioner
Lasker,
Brown.
then we'll move with you.
Thank you very much. It was approximately 2 years ago that the board conducted an IFB, invitation for bids, for the printing of precinct ballots, and that contract was awarded to Johnson & Quinn. They have been doing an amicable job. Everything's worked very well. We've had no complaints or compatibility problems of any sort with the ballots. So the contract allows for an extension. We're here to request that we extend this contract for the 2024 election cycle.
Questions?
Nope.
All right,
Fine.
okay. Then, can I get a motion to authorize the executive director to execute the board's contract extension option with Johnson & Quinn, Inc. for precinct ballot printing for the 2024 elections at a cost not to exceed $860,000 for each of the 2 elections?
So moved by Commissioner Cressy.
Seconded by Commissioner Hernandez.
All right. It's been moved in second. I'm calling for the vote.
Commissioner Cressy votes aye.
Commissioner Hernandez votes aye.
All right, it's been voted and approved, and the motion passes. Mr. Lasker, the next.
Thank you again, Commissioner Brown. Executive Director Charles Holliday worked with our staff members and the city budget office to obtain across-the-board salary increases for our employees here. However, pursuant to the election code, as the executive director, Mr. Holliday is paid by Cook County, so he was not a part of that. And we are therefore proposing that he be entitled to a cost of living adjustment to his employment contract with the board. And that is what we are now requesting today.
Questions?
No, the amount of the cost of living adjustment, the COLA, is reasonable to the inflation rate. And Charles, don't get used to it. Hopefully next year we'll have lower inflation. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Yeah. Thank you.
Madam Chair, is there anything from you?
No, I'm fine.
All right. And I'll entertain a motion to approve a 3.2% cost of living salary adjustment to the board's current employment contract with its executive director, Charles Holliday, Jr.
Motion to approve.
Seconded by Commissioner Cressy.
Hernandez. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay. So moved and seconded by Commissioner Cressy.
All right, it's been moved and second. I'll call for the vote. Commissioner, Chair Hernandez?
Commissioner Hernandez votes aye.
And Commissioner Cressy votes aye as well.
All right, the motion passes.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Holliday, our approval for the PSA for Maritza Buendia.
Commissioner Brown, I'll take that if you don't mind.
All right.
Maritza Buendia has been providing services as a Spanish language translator and community outreach liaison for the board for a couple of years now. Her current contract expires at the end of this month. She is, secondary in this role. We do have a full-time employee that leads that position in the Community Services Department. But the staff is requesting an extension, well, a contract renewal with Ms. Buendia for the 2024 election cycle at the same rates as her old pre-existing contract.
Questions?
And she's been giving us great service, and we'll continue at that, I'm sure.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions before we move for the motion? All right, then, is there a motion to approve a professional services agreement with Maritza Buendia for Spanish language translation and community outreach services at the rate of $50 per hour, not to exceed $100,000 over the term of the agreement, which shall begin on January 25th of 2024 and continue through and including January 24th of 2025.
So moved by Commissioner Cressy.
Second by Commissioner Hernandez.
It's been moved and seconded. Vote.
Commissioner Cressy votes aye.
Commissioner Hernandez votes aye.
All right, the motion passes. Thank you both. All right, Mr. Lasker, is this you or Ms.
No.
Brooklyn?
I'll take it unless,
We have Clint here.
Oh.
He also-
All right. Ms. Brooklyn?
Is the microphone turned on?
there we go.
Thank you.
There we go. Good morning.
Good morning.
The procurement office is asking your approval of a contract for messenger services, excuse me. Aero Messenger has provided the board with messenger services for many years now, and we will be using the city's contract as a piggyback or subcontract off of the City of Chicago's contract with Aero that was duly procured by the city through a competitive bidding process back in 2012. We call this the city contract with Aero. And in March of 2022, the city modified the city's contract by extending their durational term through January 15th of 2023. In August of 2023, the city again modified the city's contract to extend the durational term through January 15th, 2024, or until such time as the city executes a new contract with Aero. Aero Messenger services include but are not limited to the pickup and delivery of driver services for the board's early voting sites, nursing home voting sites, university voting and election day voting sites, and as requested by the board's pre-election voting and logistics and warehouse departments. The term of the service will begin January 24th, 2024 through January 23 of 2025, with an amount not to exceed $1 million over the term of the contract. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions?
Again, Aero has been providing, at least it's been my experience, they've been providing us with very good service.
Yes, for quite a while now.
Thank you.
Anything, Madam Chair?
No, nothing at this time.
All right, then I'll entertain a motion to approve a contract for messenger and driver services with Aero Messenger Services, Inc. as a subcontract under the City of Chicago contract number 26588 with the value not to exceed $1 million over the term of the contract, which begins on January 24 of 2024 and continues through January 23rd of 2025.
Commissioner Hernandez moves to approve the contract.
All right,
Seconded by Commissioner Cressy.
it's been moved and seconded, moved by Commissioner Hernandez and seconded by Commissioner Cressy, and I'll call for the vote.
Commissioner Hernandez votes aye.
Commissioner Cressy votes aye.
All right, the motion passes. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Ms. Rivera,
You want-
is this you for the LHH recruitment? Okay.
Good morning. As you know, the last board meeting, there was concerns regarding LHH contract. Since then, I have sent over the concerns, and they have agreed and have complied and have signed over the contract. So we are requesting your approval with a contract with LHH Recruitment Solutions for professional trainer services. And this contract will be through January 12th, 2024 through January 11th of 2025. And the compensation will be $50 per hour of services provided by each professional trainer supplied by LHH.
Question?
I want to thank you for that, and General Counsel Lasker, I know you've both been working on this, and we had some difficulties with regards to language in that contract. Council, after everything we requested, we achieved.
That is correct, and Mr. Robledo, correct me if I'm wrong, but they've already signed the contract and already submitted the economic disclosure, isn't that?
The economic disclosure is still pending.
Okay, well, I know that I've seen that it's been sent to them and there's communications, and they're agreeing that they're definitely going to submit it very soon.
Again, thank you both.
Thank
And
you.
I have a quick question regarding term number 10 of the contract. It's a little different than what we usually do. Is there a particular reason why?
Let me pull that up, because I'm not...
That's the Illinois Human Rights Act.
That is one of the elements where they wanted it completely removed from the contract. We usually have people sign an acknowledgement. I just drafted back that, the fact of the matter is that we're going to provide them with notice, and those are state statutes that apply to them whether or not they want to sign our acknowledgement. So I did make the judgment call that because those are binding statutes regardless, we don't need them to sign the acknowledgement. We're going to give them the notice of it anyway, because that's just our standard practice.
I just noticed the difference.
Yes,
All right.
So they're still going to be bound to it because of the statute.
right.
Whether or not they go along with the proposed boilerplate type review should look at.
Yeah, we just have an acknowledgement that we've made them aware of the statutes, and we do that just out of a good practice. We're not required to do that, but we'll still serve them with a notice of it, and it'll apply to them as a state law.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you much.
All right, then we will, I'll entertain a motion to approve a professional services agreement with LHH Recruitment Solutions for professional trainer services at the rate of $50 per hour per trainer, and with the durational term beginning on January 12th, 2024, and continuing through January 11th of 2025.
So moved by Commissioner Cressy.
Seconded by Commissioner Hernandez.
Seconded, I'll entertain the vote.
Commissioner Cressy votes aye.
Commissioner Hernandez votes aye.
Thank you both. The motion passes, and we will look to the contract.
Thank
All
you.
right, I think that completes our new business for contracts. Now, Mr. Lasker, we'll
Good
go to
again.
legal report.
Thank you, Commissioner Brown. Good job with that new business section. As I have already discussed with you individually, last week, Friday, there was a lawsuit filed by several groups of real estate professionals challenging the citywide tax referendum that is, at least at this moment, going to be appearing on our ballots. It is a referendum that was initiated by a resolution of the Chicago City Council. It was the Chicago City Clerk that then certified that to us, and I will obviously be continuing to discuss with you the case as it moves through the system. Other than that, we have electoral board, as you very well know, coming right up after this meeting. We're getting very close to completing all of the cases, and so there are 18 remaining cases. We'll take 9 of them this week, the following 9 next week, and I just do want you to know that it looks like all of those 9 cases for next week are continuing to be on target for final resolution, so we'll be all done next week, Friday, at the electoral board level, is the way it's seeming.
Excellent.
Thank you. So that's my report for today. Thank you.
We have a financial report with the balance sheet and voucher listings. Is there anyone to speak to that, or are we just reading the numbers?
I believe you read that.
Yeah, but...
That's
Okay,
really-
so-
Let's
Anybody
speak
want
to-
to speak on that one? I think it's right before us, so we'll just go ahead with it. Sure.
All right, the balance sheet and voucher listings for the City of Chicago 2023 appropriation, 23-09, dated January 12th, 2024, in the amount of $5,918,795.89. And the balance sheet, that's Section A of Number 9, Financial Report. The balance sheet and voucher listings for the County of Cook, 2023 appropriation, 23-05, dated January 12th, 2024, in the amount of $29,301.57.
This is Commissioner Hernandez. I move to approve both vouchers.
All right.
And Commissioner Cressy. I will second the motion to approve both balance sheets and voucher listings.
Right, it's been moved and second, and I'll entertain the vote. Commissioner Hernandez?
Commissioner Hernandez votes aye.
Commissioner Cressy votes aye.
All right, it's been approved. Are there any public comments? And Mr. Lasker, is there any need for executive session?
No, there is not. I do want to point out that for some of the new business items that we did just approve, I have documents to be signed. The motions were unanimous, but of course the chair is having to participate remotely today, so I just want to point out that if it turns out that only the two of you sign the contracts, that is the majority, and that will bind the board.
So noted. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do we need to sign these before we adjourn?
No,
Oh, okay.
but we would appreciate it sooner than later, so
Doing it as we
she
speak.
can take them and get them filed away.
All right. Then seeing that there's no additional business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved by Commissioner Cressy.
Seconded by Commissioner Hernandez.
It's been moved and seconded. Commissioner Cressy?
Commissioner Cressy votes aye.
Commissioner Hernandez votes aye.
All right, thank you both. We're adjourned until our next regular board meeting is scheduled. Thank you all.
Commissioner Brown, very nice job.
Thank you.